Hello again, folks, and welcome back to Let's Play Pillars of Eternity. I'm your Game Master Darius. Last we left off, we had a nice little chat with and recruited, I guess, for lack of a better word, Hiravius, which is going to be a name that is something I'm going to trip over several times over until the end of time. I can't seem to get down to the southern region, although it does look like that there is something to explore down there. That said, there's also appears to be something to do over here where we had previously do something. Lay a ribbon. Press the button. The bright sun casts its light on a pattern on the ground. You need to get a better look. The stone here has been carved in a few simple shapes. A small circular indentation marks the center. A much larger circle surrounds it. You see what appears to be writing above the two circles. Outer circle. Several shapes have been carved into the outer circle. Most have been worn away. You can make out a crescent above the center. Examine. The characters are completely foreign to you, no doubt the remnants of some long-forgotten language. What's this indentation? The indentation is shallow and smooth. It looks like it was intended to hold something specific. I guess I can wait a while. You'll wait for a few hours, marking the sun's journey across the sky. Wait again. Wait for a few hours, watching the stars wink and glow overhead. Wait again. Wait. Intended. Away. No longer remnants. We're definitely supposed to put something in there. If the fact that there is an indentation there is any indication. Actually, one second, let me look at it again. Get a better look, circular indication. Shallow, smooth. I mean, at the least I know that it looks hexagonal. That's all I got. Some sort of hexagonal. Oh, hello. Shh. Adra, stiletto. Oh boy, this is going to be one of those things where I can look all around the place, but I need to be in stealth mode to find it. Because I quite literally just clicked into stealth mode to see if there was anything there. Most obvious location would have been around here. Is there a camp around here? There was not. Might be some rocks or something. A hollow in a tree. Oh yeah, I've definitely grown more accustomed to some of my current party members than I had to some of the ones that I had gotten early on. Shut up, phone. It's probably no in small part to the fact that they're more, I'm gonna say, primally inclined. Like, I don't know. I guess I just have more of a thing for characters that are more of nature than anything.
Easy now.
Didn't help terribly that Aloth was just slightest bit annoying to me. I don't know. I have my preferences. Whether or not I'm going to continue any other characters' stories besides the ones that are in my party right now, I can't say I will. Hell, if I continue the characters' stories that are in my party, more than likely going to be because I stumble upon them. Let's go, my, what fine yet rustic architecture. And then suddenly, bam. Well, let's continue east if we can. Oh, we haven't been to Dyrwood. Dyrwood. Oh, that's loading. What is that? Phone yelling at me that there are people that I watch that stream. That are streaming, rather. Wait, have I been here before? People of breath. Regulus Courier. You can't tell me that you don't have a goddamn, I guess, how long do we gotta stand out here? Well, we find her, so keep your eyes peeled. Hi. Us? We're just minding our own business. We're cooling our heads until Medrith says the job's done. Hello, Fido's by the road, watching the village across the river. He nods as you approach, and the cowled figure standing near him falls silent.
Hail, traveler.
Greetings. A look of horror slowly forms on his face. Places, you just come from the village, have you? How bad was it? How bad was what? Haven't you heard? There's a murderer on the loose, said to have gone mad with grief and strangled a dozen healthy children with when her own was hollowborn. He nods at the figures with him. We've come all this way from Defiance Bay to bring her to justice. She's here? She's hiding out in the village. We'd go in after her ourselves, but the problem is she knows our faces. There's no telling what she'd do if she saw us coming. I'd like to avoid any further unnecessary bloodshed. Her name's Nefri. She's an Orlan. We want to get her out of town so that we can deal with her cleanly. She knows we're looking for her, but if someone were to convince her that it's safe to leave, so I could draw her out. We won't know you. It'll be simple. Well, a few questions then. What did she do exactly? She was responsible for the murder of all those babies in Defiance Bay, remember? Terrible thing, but we'll make her pay all right.
Greetings.
Alright, so we're looking for an Orlan woman. Surely this story is cut and dry and these guys are simply looking for an actual person that has actually murdered someone. And it's totally not some other side of the story that they're not telling me. Ow. Right. Must be wanting Bodmar? He's out of town, just keeping the candles lit until he gets back. Flames dance amidst scattered offerings. Keys, coins, and the tiny skulls of birds and mice are mired in the melted and hardened wax. I guess there's nothing of use in here right now. Well,
Sagani, does your fox bite?
Yes.
Can I pet him anyway?
It's your hand.
I'm gonna pet him.
Oh, that's gotta be the best interaction I've heard the entire freaking campaign. Oh my god. Oh, yeah, that's more in pieces of the kickback variety. I won't lie, I've been kind of looking for other mods to get. Like, one mod I was thinking about getting is one that just removes all the NPCs that are backers. Oh, hello. What happened? Oh, the merchant stalls are complete, of course. If only just to make it so I'm like, ooh, NPCs. Oh, they're only backers. They're gonna have neat stories, but otherwise they're just gonna have stories. That's it. Keep them self-sufficient. Upgrade the grounds further. And the lore bonus. Employee hirelings. Prisoners. Merchant stalls I've already got. Go with the craft hall. Because yes. Probably should have gone with the curio shot. But anyways, one other such thing I wanted to look for that I was not able to find was something that pretty much just condenses all the, like, damage bonuses and everything. Like, okay, this marks out the savage attack, fine, and might bonuses that I get for his fine spear. But how much of that is within the math of that 16 to 24? And that's not, you know, talking about any of the other damage that he might also be doing from, say, his elemental stuff. But say lovely. A word, traveler. I only require a moment.
Good day to you.
Oh, kind wayfarers. Guard gives you an prying eye. What are the odds? Stuck in this backwater only to meet a kind wayfarer. Her wrath's wheel brings mercy today, indeed. Perhaps you can help. I don't suppose you saw a young elven noblewoman on the road? I'm stuck in this wretched place with the rest of my units until we find her. Who is she? Lady Alis. She's the daughter of Lord Nestor Harond, and she's gone missing. Perhaps you could go speak with Lord Harond at the inn. He'll be grateful for the assistance, and it could be the villagers will open up to you more than they have to us. How do we see him? Hold up. Back at the... Was it the gorge? It might have been at the bridge. Damn it. I really wish I could remember. Actually, wait. Well, I just open up the journal. Guard along the bridge. He's missing. Has the rest. Waiting at the inn. He would like to know more about the disappearance. Take it before and after. Alright. Well, maybe find the inn last. Damn Galloween from monsters like that, and damn the rest of the gods too. And ripple sponge and a rope and grappling. Be getting quaff. Villagers, piglets, more villagers, more piglets. Oh. I don't want to steal the fruit. The woman looks briefly through you as if she didn't know you were there. She looks armed. I have a feeling if I talk to her, bad things happen. Oh wait, she's got a portrait. This middle-aged peasant woman is dressed in a brown leather cloth draped down to her knees. Her hands are working at separating stringy, colorless vegetables in the pile before her, stripping the heads off the long, fibrous stems with a paring knife. She discards the stems one by one, placing the heads of the vegetables into a small cradle-like basket in front of her. She doesn't greet you as you approach. You're not sure she even knows you're there. Excuse me? The woman doesn't respond. She keeps stripping the heads from the vegetables with a steady rhythm. She may be deaf. There's no indication she heard you. Duddy. At first glance, she seems nothing more than a middle-aged woman, unremarkable, maybe less stern than most, who seems more focused on the weaving in her lap than her surroundings. Yet you suddenly notice she's not stripping the vegetables before her any longer. She's weaving, and the vegetable pots are now missing. Still pays you no mind, her brown locks torn and snagged from lack of washing, like many of the townsfolk you've seen. There's a strange blur to her. Even the motions of her hands seem to be playing with threads that lack color, in a shape that lacks interest. It may be that she is half-minded or deaf, but something feels wrong. As you watch, her knitting takes on an odd cadence, and you have a terrible suspicion that something lurks beneath what your eyes are showing you. Brown hair is long, almost impossibly for the length of her hands. As you follow the streams of her locks downward, the hair becomes long and black, splitting off into threads of black and silver and wrapping around her hands. She's forming a soul cradle with her threads, braiding a net in front of you, each finger long and sharp like a series of knitting needles, almost hypnotic. The silver and black strands of her hair weave together with silver predominating as a highlight, black shadowing it. And suddenly you are calm. Oh god, it's always wiggy when this suddenly happens. You're on a plateau, almost the height of the tower, several stories high. The plateau is like a table lying beneath a clear sky, and beneath the plateau, surrounding in all directions, a forest, hazy with maze, although whether it is actually mist or distance or a recollection. Resting in the curve of a natural arc above you is a great copper bell, half again the size of a man, hanging at attention as if looking down on you and the event unfolding before you. The plateau was soaked in the sun, and the rock beneath you is rough and warm. The sky forms a cradle around you. You feel different, not disembodied, but you feel your body, your physical contours have changed along with the surroundings. And you hear a soft series of chimes, like wind chimes. At the sound, the scene gains color and texture, as if the sound is beckoning you gently forth, filling your senses and thoughts, like mist roiling softly into a sealed chamber. And the chime coaxes you deeper into the memory, and you're certain that it is a memory, a warm one. You're on the stone of a plateau, your knees on the warm texture of the ground, silver, white, shimmering like Adra. The plateau is formed of it, glistening in the sun. You can feel the heat on your skin, your wrists, and your hands. Your hands are in motion. Weaving, not thread, but gathering, tenderly moving along the first movements of breath's wheel. Your hands are wet. Your hands are upon the flesh of a newborn child, and you can feel the crowning of a tiny head turning in your grip, its head slick wet from the womb. The hands you are wearing, inhabiting, have done this many times, and they are practiced and confident. You can feel distant pains in your own head as the head emerges, a stream of fluid from the womb helping the newborn slide forth, a woman's labored breathing, crying out. Jesus. Focus on the child, the movement of your hands. As your hands move, you hear the sound of chimes, clear, cutting through the haze of memory. You cannot see where they are coming from, but they are close, and they are meant as a comfort for that you are certain. Draw the kid forth. And coaxed by your hands, every movement causing the chimes to sound again. Almost eagerly, the child comes forth, and as it does, your hands are in motion, weaving and weaving, moving along the length of a soft, wet rope, no umbilical cord from the lengths of a naked woman before you. You're holding a small child, still wet from the womb, before you. The child cries out, its cry full of life, full of soul, the ringing of chimes echoing in its thoughts, filling it with its welcomes. Soul is blurred at the edges, as if you are viewing a soul from within a soul, but it is there, it is alive. The woman before you is weeping, and at her first cry, her hands reach out for it. Render the kid. You render the child to her, something you have done many times before. As your hands move, the chimes echo the movement, and you realize the chimes are hanging from cords on your wrists. Where once they echoed in the memory, they are now echoing the child's mind as well. Chimes are intended to welcome the child, to be its first gentle greeting into the world, a soothing sound guided by the tender movements of the wrists. You are helping to weave its thoughts, its perceptions, and the experience. The woman laughs with a ragged joy, laughing from a parched throat. Her emotions seem soothed, but the physical demands of labor have left her exhausted. But the child is here, the child is safe, and all atop the plateau is peaceful, calm, distant flattening out as the memory persists. One moment, folks. Sorry about that, roommate stuff. Slowly pull back, retreat from the memory. With effort, the scene bleeds of color and your mind becomes your own again. There is no pole, no anchor, yet the sound of the chimes remain. As they existed in the memory, they sound here as well. They are hanging from woven brands on the wrists of the woman before you. Even as your head is spinning from the touch of her mind, the sound of the chimes on her wrists is sharp and clear, as if coaxing you back to the real world. The woman still sits before you, but she is nothing like what you saw before. She's wearing black, shredded garments that drape over her form like streamers. Her hair is streaks of black and run through with silver. Her age is almost impossible to tell. She simply feels old, like a crumpled watchtower. As she lifts her head to face you, you see that her hair is draped across the front of her face like a veil. What you first saw of her was a mental glamour of some sort, unconscious, and you realize what you see is not what the world sees, and you are perhaps the first to see her true self. Still, you don't sense a threat in the realization. If anything, you feel a sense of relief from the figure. You can hear her thoughts, and she is glad to at last be seen. What was that?
I am seen, but the eyes of others do not remember. You were the first to see me as I am, the call stripped aside.
There's a light touch on your mind, a caress, and her left hand mirrors the motion of the touch, reaching up to the air between you. You hear the chime on her wrist softly. Her hand moves as if pantomiming, resting on your cheek at a distance, and she speaks softly and slowly.
Your memories. A cadence of wheels on a caravan track. Fever. Questions by running water. Violence in a night's campfire. Arrows in the dark. And fleeing. Falling rock and cracking stone. And a storm. The storm. The storm that brushed you. Did its screaming wake you from your mind's cradle? Your memory of it is painful. Its cry is difficult to ignore. It's like a child. Many children crying out.
We were attacked in the woods as we were on our way to the Gilded Vale. Her hand withdraws shyly, the chimes sounding softly once again. The woman stands uncertainly as if she had been sitting for some time or is too weak to bear her own weight. You notice her cheekbones are tight, her face gaunt. Yet while her stance is weak, she seems determined to stand before you.
You are able to see me.
It's almost a question. You suddenly realize she doesn't seem to know what you saw when you looked at her, the image on the plateau, yet the image was so clear, so sharp, you're surprised she didn't feel you there.
To see me is a rare gift, a watcher's gift.
Not a cipher. I've never been able to do that with a living person, except for you.
So many questions, thoughts, whirling like storm winds. That storm still roars through you, deep beneath your thoughts, yet muted and secret, like an underground river. I cannot tell if it is carving new channels, or eroding what keeps your true strength buried. The fact that you could hear it at all, survive it, is something few have ever done. Your power will grow stronger with each soul you touch, as it allowed you to reach out to mine.
Okay, real talk though. If there was a mechanic to actually go around and do the whole watcher thing with those around you, like random NPCs, and it gets stronger and stronger, that'd be pretty freaking neat. There is a silence, and although it seems to last for but a heartbeat in your thoughts, it stretches out between the two of you like a pull between your minds. You blink, take a breath, and then you realize she wants to ask you a question. It can't form the words, as if assembling them would be painful, or there simply are not enough pieces. Got so many new people. God damn it. Do you wish to travel with me? You feel a wave of fear, gusted with her strength of relief, although oddly her expression does not change. Then fear dissipates and you feel strength and certainty, as if the plateau from her memory lies beneath you, and a calm storm looks down upon you. Calm sky looks down upon you. Okay, she's a cipher. Oh boy. I kind of want to dismiss Kana.
Safe travels.
I don't know what she does, though. Dream and memory. I met a strange woman who I know only as the Grieving Mother. She's a powerful cipher who shrouds herself from plain view, yet even though our minds experience a powerful communion, I know little about her or where she came from. When I first encountered the Grieving Mother on the road, I experienced a dream, or was it a memory, of childbirth. Perhaps the Grieving Mother herself can explain what I saw. Oh boy. I Have no idea how the hell ciphers work. Go figure. Okay, another caster by the look of that intelligence. Anything special? Fine padded armor. Fine dagger. Crossbow. I'll probably keep her in the back with a crossbow or arbalist or a gun. Oh, something I had to look up because yes, recovery speed is pretty much the speed of which that you attack. So the higher the recovery speed, the less times you essentially get to attack between your quote-unquote turns. So the faster, the smaller your recovery speed, the more your attack is. Naturally. That said, her defenses are pretty meh. Her random damage reductions aren't that bad though. Accurate, fine. Wait, this has got accurate and fine? God damn it. Alright, what is it you do at the moment? You got lore. Fine padded armor. Zealous endurance. Okay. Fighting spirit, second wind, soul whip. Focused below maximum, 20% melee damage, 20% range damage. Causes the cipher's weapons to generate a field of parasitic energy that lashes out at the target, increasing damage inflicted and generating focus for the cipher. And I don't know how y'all work. Alright, so I'm gonna guess she generates focus, and then when she does, we can then cast these spells? Sorry, give me a moment, I'm looking up the freaking manual. Okay, you're gonna have to pardon me if any of this is just kind of bleh. So basically, ciphers siphon, parasitic energy of the soul from their enemies by attacking them. Soul Whip increases the amount of damage done and generates focus for the cipher. So that's what the Soul Whip is. It just increases their damage. Until their maximum, which for her is currently 7. So essentially she gets 7 attacks before her melee or range damage drops to no bonus. And then she can cast the cipher spells? Let's see. Requires 10 focus. But she's only got a max of 7. Target becomes the object of a concussive blast of psychic energy, suffering raw damage from the trauma. Targets in the conical area behind the target, failing a fortitude save, are knocked prone from the blast. That's pretty cool. Whispers of treason requires 10 focus. I think I just get into a combat to see what it is that she's capable of. I'm gonna make this a little bit longer because I'm gonna level her up. I don't know what the hell to have her go into. I would say survival just to give her the usual damage reduction, healing bonus, bonus movement, blah blah blah. I know, a little bit of lore too. Midwife. Okay. Antipathetic field? I'm not sure how to read that. Creates a toxic physical manifestation of the mutual antipathy between the cipher and the enemy target. Enemies caught in the path between the two will suffer corrosive damage. Oh, this is her new... Okay, this is the new power she will gain from this. Okay. I thought it was a talent. So it will blind... Oh no, that's Ice Strike. So corrosive damage... Plus 20% beam damage over 16. So the user takes the damage? Eye Strike shocks an enemy's visual receptors, dazing and blinding them as well as blinding nearby targets. This one will blind, which is pretty damn good. Full shock. Allied target plus in a radius. Bow AoE. Oh, so I target an ally. Briefly transforms the outer shell of an allied's target's soul into energy, releasing an electrical blast around them. Character standing in the area around the target takes shock damage. Okay, so this is something I would cast on someone immediately in the front of the line, so as they stop getting hit by things. Anyways, assails the target's grasp on reality, frightening and confusing them. I don't like the soul shock, I won't lie. Oh boy. So Biting Whip increases the damage that the Soul Whip does by 20%. Psychic Backlash invokes a retaliatory strike, sending an enemy whenever they target the Cypher's will defense. Passive once per encounter. This one increases the focus gained from the Cypher. And this one increases the max possible focus. This I see be really stupid good, depending on how it is, because the more max focus that you have, the longer that you'll get that plus to the damage, but also more chances to cast your ciphers, if I'm thinking correctly. So we'll go greater focus. Next level. Take some more, take some survival. Alright. Oh, level 2 now. Sweet. Amplified thrust. Range, plus it jumps. Piercing damage and pushes, and more piercing damage and pushes. Neat. Mental Binding overwhelms the target's mental ability to communicate with its own body, paralyzing it. Ooh. Alright, Mental Binding is already in the top runner. Mind Blades. Co-ops the target's essence, generating a slashing blade of force that attacks them before leaping up to 5 additional targets. Okay. That's pretty sweet. Phantom Foes. Invades the minds of targets in the area of effect, causing them to believe they are surrounded by phantom foes, leaving them flanked for the duration. -10 enemies needed to flank for 30 seconds? Oh, so, okay, I get it. So it's like it's forcing them to think that there's enemies around them, so they just become flanked. That's pretty neat. Oh, does that mean that Liliana's sneak attack would be active anytime that she strikes him like that? That'd be cool. Psycho-Vampiric Shield. Cypher uses the target's strength of mind against it, stealing a portion of its resolve in order to better deflect incoming attacks. Gains 10 resolve for plus 25 deflection. Alright. Recall Agony. Causes the target to believe the psychic trauma of an injury. Moments after receiving it, experience the damage all over again. 30% of all damage reapplied over 15 seconds, or 16 seconds. That's pretty funny. Aha, that really hurt you, didn't it? Well, have it again! Injury moments after receiving... This would have to be one I would need to time, like right before someone else does a thing. I'm gonna go with, not Mind Blades, the Mental Binding. Because being able to paralyze a foe, but also make other foes stuck, that's pretty good. 6 more, go to lore. Oh boy. I suppose if I were forced to choose which one of these I'm taking, and believe me, I'm being forced to, I'm gonna go with Phantom Foes. Let's see. I kind of want to take Biting Whip. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure exactly what kind of style I want her to take, because the faster her attack is, the more she can cast her ciphers. So if I just go like dual daggers or longbow, that could be good. Would that be viable? If I go just like, oh, be super good with hunting bows or something. Spears are pretty good, right? Okay, I will point out there is a thing that does piss me off about this game, and that is the damage between some of the weapons and whatnot is basically the same. I know I can pretty much sum it up if I could find the particular entry when it comes to the goddamn PDF again. Was it the PDF that I looked through? I think it was. No, I think it was the wiki, but regardless. So, like, all of the... God damn it. I need the actual website to show the point. 1 second. Okay, so, like, the bows are one of the ones where it's like, it's whatever, because the hunting bow does less damage than the war bow does less damage than the crossbow does less damage than the arbalest. The only difference between them is that from in that order, it goes fast, average, slow, very slow for their speed. Okay, fine. Pretty much all firearms are slow, blunderbusses are pretty weak, pistols are pretty damn strong, and arquebuses, like the one that Kana was wielding, strongest of the firearms. Wands, very, very little when it comes to their actual damage, with rods being the strongest but the slower of them at average only speed. And then you actually get into the weapons, where it's like daggers, hatchets, rapiers, stilettos, clubs, flails, and unarmed. Well, no, not unarmed. But all of those do 9 to 13 damage without any sort of penalties, or all that fun stuff. There are certain weapon type bonuses, like daggers have better accuracy. I think the hatchets have better defense for some reason, and stilettos have a little bit of damage reduction bypass. But besides that, damage type and weapon type bonuses all they have differing from one another. They all do the same base damage and they all have the same base speed. Cool. And then the large one-hand weapons, which are like maces, warhammers, spears, swords, battle axes. Actually, we have a couple of battle axes. Again, all of them have different weapon type bonuses and do different damage types, but the base damage of them is the exact same thing. And all their speeds are the exact same as well. You cannot tell me that a saber is slower than a mace. And then there's also the same thing with two-handed and all that fun stuff. I think what also just bugs me is that it doesn't actually list those weapon type bonuses as far as I've seen, which is aggravating. But yeah, and then their speed is pretty much just two-handed are slow, large one-handed is average, fast one-handed is fast, which I get. I just don't approve of their base damages being so uniform, I guess. Anyways, I suppose if anything though, I could give her Noble. The Rod and Scepter or Rapier. I do, or more or less, just like the idea of her sticking to the back and pelting things from a distance. You would be replacing Kana for the fashion, so having another person in the back being able to just take pot shots would be great. Yeah, we'll give her Peasant, which will give her +6 accuracy for hatchet spears, all that fun shite. Or do I? Biting Whip is more damage. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of her being more accurate. Thank you. The hell? Accuracy. An 8. Pump some of that into survival, I think. Oh, level 3 now. Ecto Psychic Echo. Generates a rebounding wave of psychic feedback between the Cypher and an ally that causes crush damage. Enemies caught in between. I like the fact that most of these do seem to only focus on our foes. Violence in enemies' memories to bring vivid recollections of past failures to the surface, leaving them hobbled and weakened. That's a pretty good one. Pain Leak. Allied target. 25 of all damage reapplied to nearby targets over... Wow, that's actually pretty good. Puppet Master. Dominate for 20 seconds. Secret Horrors. Causes enemies in the target of effect to believe their worst fears have been realized. Causing them to be frightened and sickened for 20 seconds. And then Soul Ignition, which does 124 burn damage over 14 seconds. Ow. I mean, Puppet Master is great because just for like half a minute-ish, they become an ally, but ow. Alright. Put one into lore, one into survival. That tops off survival, so I think I might just go more lore. Alright, wait, did I take the... Ah, shit. Did I click the wrong one? What did I click? Frick. I wanted Puppet Master. There is not one to grant me more soul maximum, I guess. Excuse me. Out of control. Mental Fortress. And I don't know. I never know when it comes to the additional talents. It's like I could stun a target, more focus drain. I'm gonna go with Biting Whip. Yeah, what one did I accidentally take? Factored Violation. Although a hobbled and weakened one, okay. I'm not that plussed about that one, but that's fine. Character. Still, I do like that there is like just a limited amount of things that she can do with this, as opposed to like the wizard. I don't know. I don't like the wizard class in this. Alright. So, I guess once again, I'm going to go ahead and call an episode and kit her out. When we return, she will have been kitted out with whatever I happen to have on hand. Thank you everyone so very much for watching. I hope you're all enjoying this series as much as I'm enjoying playing it. And as always, I hope to see you all in the next video. Take care. Cheers.